On November 11th, 2022, at 2:20 a.m., a Bowling Green police officer observed a 2018 Toyota Camry operating without headlights near Thurston and East Court Street. The driver, Destiny, stated she was giving friends a ride home.
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Reason I'm stopping you because you didn't have your headlights on when you're driving down
Yeah,
Thurston.
I just turned them on.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license,
Yeah,
registration,
I'm so
proof
sorry.
of insurance?
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
This is my friend's car.
Who's your friend? Okay. Passengers, do you have your driver's license on you?
Yeah, she does. Me? Here's my driver's license. I'm sorry. I just turned them on.
Okay. Where's the vehicle owner now? Yeah, where's that person?
She went home with She's with my friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can smell some alcohol coming from the car. Okay. So I don't know.
I just picked her up from the bar, yeah.
That's a very good possibility. But because I can smell it, I'm going to have you step out of the car just to make sure that it's not
fine.
her.
I just picked her up.
That's fine. If you want to stand on the sidewalk over there, I'm going to turn the lights off here real quick.
Headlight violation provided lawful grounds for the stop under Terry v. Ohio, 392 U.S. 1, 1968. Reasonable suspicion of a traffic infraction is sufficient to initiate a traffic stop. No further justification is required at this threshold. Upon detecting an odor of alcohol emanating from the vehicle, the officer requested Destiny step outside Pennsylvania v. Mims, 434 U.S. 106, 1977. Established that officers conducting a lawful traffic stop may order the driver from the vehicle as a matter of routine. No individualized suspicion of danger is required.
Okay.
What's her name?
31 headquarters. I have a DL break. Union William 274525 UW 2745 25. Just hold that for me. All right, let's go up on the sidewalk here.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So we're out of the walkway. Do you wear contacts or anything?
No. I have glasses, but like.
Okay. You don't wear them though?
I mean, when I go to school, yeah. When I read and stuff.
Okay. Any medical issues here recently? Okay.
That's it.
Have you had any crashes or anything like that where you've been in the hospital? Any head trauma of any sort recently? Nothing like that? No hospital visits whatsoever?
No. Not for anything important.
Okay. All right. You turn your fronts off? Yeah. Thank you. All right. You see the tip of my pen?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What I want you to do is look at the tip of the pen. Don't move your head, okay? Just follow it with your eyes only. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Keep your head still, okay? All right, you can still see it?
Mm-hmm. I see it.
Okay.
I promise you I'm okay.
Follow it. I'm just going to go up and then come back down. Just follow with your eyes only. Don't move your head. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One more. I'm going to do a circle, and I'm going to come towards your nose. I'm not going to touch your nose, though. Just follow it the whole time, okay?
Understand.
Just a minute here.
Before administering field sobriety tests, the officer screened for corrective lenses, recent head trauma, and medical conditions. This is a required step under the NHTSA SFST student manual. Failure to conduct this screening can render test results inadmissible and expose the arrest to suppression motions. The officer administered all 3 NHTSA validated tests: horizontal gaze, nystagmus, walk and turn, and one-leg stand. These are the only scientifically validated tests accepted under NHTSA's standardized field sobriety testing battery. HGN carries 88% accuracy, walk and turn 79%, one-leg stand 83%. Combined, they form the legally recognized basis for probable cause in an OVI investigation. HGN detects involuntary eye nystagmus caused by CNS depressants, 6 possible clues across both eyes, 4 or more indicates probable impairment. This test is not visible to the subject. It cannot be coached or consciously manipulated. It is the most reliable of the 3. Walk and turn evaluates divided attention, the ability to follow instructions while performing physical tasks, 8 possible clues, 2 or more correlates to BAKE of 0.08 or higher. One-leg stand similarly tests balance and cognitive load, 4 possible clues. 2 or more indicates impairment. The officer also administered an alphabet recitation test. This is not an NHTSA validated field sobriety test. It has no standardized scoring criteria and carries no validated accuracy rate for predicting BAC. Results from non-validated tests are generally inadmissible as per se evidence of impairment in Ohio courts. Its inclusion in the field evaluation is a procedural misstep. Based on the totality of observations, the odor of alcohol, headlight violation, and SFST performance, the officer placed Destiny under arrest for OVI. Probable cause for OVI does not require proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It requires only that a reasonable officer, given all circumstances, would believe impairment is probable. This standard was met. During the search incident to arrest, the officer recovered a fictitious Michigan driver's license bearing a birth date 2 years earlier than Destiny's actual date of birth. Under Chamel v. California, 395 U.S. 752, 1969, and Arizona v. Gant 556 U.S. 332, 2009, a search of the arrestee's person is constitutionally authorized at the moment of lawful arrest. No warrant is required. Displaying a fictitious identification is charged under Ohio Revised Code Section 450730. The timing of this discovery is legally significant. The search that uncovered it was lawful and independent of the OVI investigation. This charge stands on its own constitutional foundation.
Do a couple more tests here.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I'm going to read you some instructions here, okay? And then I'll have you follow the instructions. And
Right.
don't start until I tell you
Right.
to start the test, okay? I'm going to read everything to you. Then I'll have you start the test, okay?
Right.
So put your left foot on the line, just like that. Put your right foot in front of your left foot, standing heel to toe. Okay, and hold that position, okay? With your heel in front of your right foot, touching the heel of the other foot, place your arms down at your side, and keep this position until I tell you to begin. Don't start until I tell you to start the test, okay? You understand?
I understand.
Okay, when I tell you to begin, take 9 heel-to-toe steps down the line, turn and take 9 heel-to-toe steps back down the line. When you turn, keep the front foot on the line and turn by taking a series of small steps with your other foot. While you're walking, keep your hands at your sides at all times, watch your feet at all times, and count your steps out loud. Once you begin the test, do not stop until you've completed the test. Do you understand the instructions? Okay, I'm going to demonstrate it really fast for you, okay? So go ahead and stay there for me. Stay in that position, okay? So like I said, you're going to be standing like this. You're going to go down 1, 2, 3 to 9. Obviously, I can't go down any further, so we're going to stop there. Turn yourself around with several small steps, okay? And then back down. 1, 2, 3, back down to 9. Okay? Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, any leg problems, hip problems, back problems, anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay. All right, stand feet together, hands down to your sides, just like this. You can stand right up here in the middle here. You don't have to stand on that line. You can stand right there. That's fine. Okay, just stand with your feet together, hands down to your sides, okay? Keep this position until I tell you to begin. Do not start until I have explained the test and told you to start, okay? When I tell you to begin, you're going to raise one leg, either leg, approximately 6 inches off the ground with your feet parallel to the ground, your foot parallel to the ground. Keep both legs straight. Keep your arms down at your side and watch your raised foot. While holding that position, count out loud in the following manner: 1001, 1002, 1003, until I tell you to stop, okay?
Yep.
Keep your arms at your sides at all times. Watch your raised foot while you're counting and count out loud. Do you understand? Okay, so just until I tell you to stop.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so you can raise whichever leg you want, doesn't matter. Okay?
Like this,
nope, it's going to be out forward, okay? But you want to put your foot so you're pointed like this. 1001, 1002, right, until I tell you to begin, or until I tell you to stop. All right, you ready? Okay, go ahead and start.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 1014, 1015, 1016, 1017, 1018, 1019, 1020, 1021, 1022, 1023, 1024, 1025, 1026, 1027, 1028, 1029.
Okay, you can stop. Okay, last thing I want to do, you know your ABCs, right?
Yep.
Okay, all I want you to do.
Saying backwards?
Nope,
I can't
nope,
do that.
nope,
Okay.
nope. I just want you to say your ABCs without singing them.
Okay.
Say them straight to me from A to Z without stopping. Go ahead.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Okay. At this point in time, I do believe that you've had more alcohol than you should have. Okay? I am going to place you under arrest. We're going to go on station. Okay? I'm going to give you the opportunity to take a breath test. If I'm wrong and you test under the legal limit, I'll give you a ride home.
Please not do that, please.
Unfortunately,
I'm begging you. I would do anything, please.
I understand.
Officer, please.
I understand, but I have a job to do as well. Okay?
Please, I'm begging you.
Listen, I'll give you an
can
option.
Follow me, please.
Can't do that.
Please.
I'll
I
give
am
you an
begging
option.
you. I am begging
Listen,
you.
we can't at this point. Okay? I'm trying to be nice with you.
Please, I'm a nursing major. Please.
I understand.
No,
but,
can you please?
Okay, so you're going to have the opportunity to take a breath test.
I'm not taking the breathalyzer. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, at this point, then, all I need you to do is turn around, put your hands behind your back for me. Okay? Put them together like you're praying. It's going to be more comfortable.
Please,
Here. Here, hold on. Put your hands together like this. There you go. I understand, but can you put them together like you're praying? Nope, like this. There you go.
I'm not praying, right now.
I understand, but that's just going to be the most comfortable that I can do for you here, okay? Is any of the people in the vehicle right now, are they sober?
Please,
okay.
not do this.
Hold on.
Please.
He doesn't have a choice.
Unfortunately, at this point,
He doesn't have a choice.
At this point, this is where we're at, okay? Do you want to pat her down real quick?
Yep, sure.
I have nothing on me.
Step over here.
We're going to go over here to the car, okay?
It's still
Back passenger seat.
A At the station, the officer administered Ohio's implied consent advisement using BMV Form 2255, as required by Ohio Revised Code Section 45111.191. Ohio's implied consent doctrine holds that operating a vehicle on public roads constitutes advanced consent to chemical testing upon a lawful OVI arrest. This is not negotiable. It is a condition of licensure. Destiny refused the breath test. For a second offense OVI, refusal triggers an automatic administrative license suspension of 1 year, separate from and in addition to any criminal penalties. This suspension is civil and administrative in nature. It attaches at the moment of refusal, regardless of the outcome of the criminal case. Following the refusal, the officer advised Destinies would seek a blood search warrant from the on-call judge. This reflects current Fourth Amendment law in Missouri v. McNeely, 569 U.S. 141, 2013. The Supreme Court held that the natural metabolization of alcohol does not, by itself, constitute exigency sufficient to justify a warrantless blood draw. A warrant is required absent additional exigent circumstances. Faced with a court-ordered blood draw, Destiny voluntarily provided a urine sample. The result, 0.23 grams of ethanol per 100 milliliters, nearly 3 times Ohio's legal limit of 0.08 under Ohio Revised Code, Section 4511-19. This single data point rendered the refusal tactically irrelevant. It cost her the license and still produced chemical evidence. On May 19, 2023, Destiny entered a guilty plea to reckless operation under Ohio Revised Code, Section 451120. 3 charges were dismissed in exchange: OVI with a prior conviction, fictitious ID, and refusal within 20 years. She was sentenced to 30 days in jail with 24 days suspended, 5 years of community control, a 6-day driver intervention program, and a $480 fine paid in full. The patrol officer receives a B+. Every critical legal decision was correct. The stop was constitutionally grounded. The SFSTs were properly administered. The arrest was supported by probable cause. The decision to seek a warrant before a blood draw reflects a sound application of McNeely. Vehicle disposition was handled with consideration for the registered owner. The arrest was conducted without unnecessary force or escalation. The grade falls short of an A solely because of the alphabet recitation test, including a non-validated, judicially unsupported test in an OVI field evaluation risks undermining the otherwise solid evidentiary foundation of the arrest. It does not constitute a constitutional violation, but it is a procedural error that better training would prevent. Destiny receives a D+. This was her second OVI arrest. She operated a vehicle at 0.23 BAC. More than twice the legal threshold that triggers enhanced penalties under Ohio law. She carried a fictitious ID suggesting premeditation. She refused the breath test, triggering an automatic license suspension, and then voluntarily provided the urine sample that proved her impairment. The refusal produced the worst possible outcome: administrative, penalty, and chemical evidence both. Credit is given for physical cooperation during the arrest. Non-resistance is not a virtue. It is a legal obligation, but compliance prevented a bad situation from escalating to a use of force incident, and the eventual plea agreement, 3 charges dismissed, reflects effective legal representation after the fact. 3 lessons emerge from this case. First, knowing Ohio's implied consent law before driving is not optional. The administrative license suspension attaches at refusal. It cannot be undone by a favorable criminal outcome. Drivers who refuse and then provide alternative chemicals simply surrender the administrative protection without gaining any tactical advantage. Second, NHTSA standardized tests are the evidentiary spine of every OVI prosecution. Officers who introduce non-validated tests alongside the battery open the door to suppression arguments and appellate challenges. Procedural discipline in the field protects the integrity of the entire case. Third, probable cause for OVI is a low threshold by design. An odor of alcohol, failed SFSTs, and a traffic violation are sufficient. Drivers who believe they can talk their way out of an OVI arrest after those elements are present are operating under a significant legal misunderstanding. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comments below. If you found this analysis useful, consider subscribing for more legal breakdowns of police interactions. Thank you for watching.